What's a quick way to make a Gibson fan really upset? Say something like, "This just might be better than a Gibson SG." Hey, it's Carl from artistshred.com, and I am here with the Reverend Sensei RA. And I was joking a little bit that it's necessarily better than a Gibson SG standard, but I will say I need to get my biases out of the way right now. The Gibson SG is probably my favorite guitar, my favorite body shape, and my favorite guitar that I've ever owned, although I don't currently own one. Let's talk about this. Reverend guitar brand from Ohio. They build these guitars in Korea now. What's similar to this Sensei RA and an SG standard? Set neck, like an SG standard. Obviously it's got the two horns, like an SG standard. 24 3/4 inch scale length. 43 millimeters at the width at the nut, 2 humbuckers, 3-way pickup switch, 2 pneumatic bridge with a stop bar tailpiece, and that's mostly where the similarities end. 12-inch radius on the fretboard, just like a SG standard. The neck feels very similar. This is called a medium oval, and the SG I think is rounded C. It feels like if you've played an SG standard and you play this, it feels very similar. What's different about these beyond the price? The list price on this is $1,439. The SG standard is I think $1,799, and these sell brand new at most websites for I think around $1,200. This one actually was purchased at Sweetwater. I didn't buy it. I bought this used, but the guy who sold it to me, bought it from Sweetwater based on the serial number. It's a 2021 model. Now let's get into the differences, all right? One you can see pretty quickly if you've ever spent time with an SG. This has 3 knobs here, a volume, a tone, and a bass contour. We'll talk about that in a second. Whereas an SG has 4, 2 volume and 2 tone. So what is bass contour? Well, you can roll off the bass and it really changes the sound of the guitar. It's not like using the normal tone control. It really just tapers off the bass, the low end. So it's pretty nice actually. So it's not a huge, massive difference, but it's enough of a difference that it's noticeable. And it is nice how you can kind of thin out the sound. What else is different? Locking tuners, placement of the strap button. A lot of people complain about SGs and neck dive. A neck dive is just when you're standing and you're not touching the guitar, the neck can kind of fall. It's called neck dive. This one doesn't have neck dive. So what else is different? Pickups. It's a rail hammer chisel in the bridge and a rail hammer chisel in the neck. And rail hammer is a pickup company started by the guy who started Reverend Guitars. I'm pretty sure every Reverend guitar has rail hammer brand pickups, so you can just call it the Reverend pickup brand, really. They look cool, but beyond that, most importantly, they sound great. Really nice pickups. Yeah, they sound good. You'll hear in the sound demo. This is what I would say, a professional level guitar, like a Gibson SG standard, which is not usually what I review here, I know, but bear with me, because just bear with me. So yeah, if you're looking for an SG kind of style, if you like how an SG plays, but you want to give another brand a shot, this is a really cool guitar. This isn't like a kind of a traditional type of review that I do, because when you're getting up into this range of price, then you're basically expecting a really good guitar, and it's really just a lot of personal preference. So if you like a 24 3/4 inch scale length, if you like SGs, you probably will like this guitar. If you don't like those things, then you probably won't like this guitar. I don't think it's going to change your mind about those type of things. If you like how an SG feels, I really highly recommend you check one of these out. But if you don't, whatever. Tons of other guitars for you to choose from, including tons of other great Reverend guitars for you to choose from. I will say this is actually the first Reverend I've ever owned. Now that I do own one, I feel like I'm more likely to purchase another, and very likely I will sell this one and buy another so I can review another, which kind of hurts me. That's the ways of having a YouTube review channel. Side note, one of my biggest regrets ever is selling my Gibson SG Standard, and I sold it like 15 years ago. I was leaving the country, so I needed to get rid of it, basically. But I still regret that purchase because I loved that guitar, or that I regret that sale because I loved that guitar. But neither here nor there. Let's get into some sound demos, all right? Before we get into that, of course, like this video, subscribe. It really helps so much. I think people don't understand how much it helps to do those things. And of course, leave a comment. That helps a lot as well. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so let's mess with the bass contour, all right? So right now I have the bass all the way up, tone all the way up, volume all the way up. I'm on the bridge. Let's just do a simple E chord. I'll roll off the bass. Here it sounds thinner. Let's give some distortion. Roll off the bass. Something else I forgot to point out as far as similarities with the SG, 22 frets, just like an SG. So, have I talked too much about SGs today for a video about the Reverend Sensei RA? Probably. But this is the end of the video. So, you're probably not watching anyway. Until next time. Oh, planes, come on.